pain and loss, the survivors remain undaunted.
My people are back. They are farming now. And I still ask government if it is true. Let them assist us with fertilizer and security very well. Because once there is farm, to take care of the farm, and it is their wealth. We shall come back to maybe by God's grace. And I'm praying beginning and end of it.
Because people are taking refuge at the Houthi Market Square, whereby we don't have food, and followed by we need medication in hostel, and in fact we need, because it's the season and we don't have anywhere to sell. We don't have clothing because many of our clothing were born off.
The Houthi community had been spared until the attack of April 2nd. The villagers blamed the attack on Fulani herders, who they say had long been living in the community.
They pretend, but lively idea. For any act.
The attacks of April 2nd shattered the peace that has long existed in Houthi community. The mutual trust between definitely take a long time. Some say a lifetime. DG Bademasi, TV360, Houthi, Plateau State, North Central Nigeria.
And we'll go on a short break now, but still to come, AFDB commits $650 million economic transformation. Details of this story will be brought to you right after this break. We'll recap of the Lagos State Power has hit and Seth Rapid Driver and Koro the Mer 22 and Desire Iron in the last two and Java to note that the Fed government fully beyond real evidence cry. We also had the U.S. Federal Investigation Enforcement said they extradited documents through an presidential day 90 for admitting that the U.S. for the of Colombia and in Kenya funds or date. You can catch us online.
Back. Now, investors' interest in consumer goods and industrial stocks pushed equities value higher than 82 billion naira in the 4-day trading week ended Friday, May 2nd, 2025. Nigeria stock market rose by 0.23% in the week under review, following 3 days of positive closes as against a day of negative close. Now, Nigerian Aviation and Linco led the gainers with a 10% share price appreciation, closing at 82 naira 50 kobo per share. Just followed closely by Cadbury Nigeria, which closed at 31 naira 90 kobo per share. Now, overall, investors exchanged 573 million shares across 18,551 deals with a market value of 13 billion naira. Now, when compared with the previous NGX trading day, that's Wednesday, April 30th, today's data shows 46 improvement in volume, 9% improvement in turnover, and 6% improvement in the number of deals. Now, turning our gaze to the international market, it's a similar situation as all the stock recorded bullish trade. Now, in the foreign exchange market, the naira continues to weaken against major currencies as of today. The US dollar is trading at 1,620 naira, the British pound at 2,060 naira, and the euros at 1,730 naira on the black market. And that's a wrap on today's market report. Joy, over to you now for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Okweyomi. And now in other countries, Gaza Civil Defense Agency says Israeli strikes has killed at least 20 people on Friday in the Palestinian territory, devastated by war and under a total Israeli aid blockade for 2 months. Israel resumed its military campaign in the Gaza Strip on March 18 after a ceasefire that had largely halted the fighting collapsed. Civil defense official Mohammed al-Mughai told journalists 20 people had been killed since dawn on Friday, including 9 following the Israeli bombardment of a home in Buresh camp in central Gaza. And still on the foreign scene, the Duke of Sussex has lost his legal challenge against the Home Office over his UK security arrangements. Prince Harry challenged the dismissal of his High Court claim against the Home Office after the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures decided he should receive a reduced degree of security protection when in the country. Delivering the court's ruling, Judge Sir Geoffrey Voss said although the Duke's arguments were powerful and moving, he could not say the Duke's sense of grievance translated into a legal argument for the challenge to Ravek's decision. And finally on sports, the Nigerian National League lost a 3-0 February fought against of most NL Uyi Stadium fan remains in Fabio found a solid intimidating match of during day after Roberts and to on Sports Center Bayern at the end of his club sector has unfair. The expired 30 Bayern in the stand early for the club from to June the States. He touched down in Munich on loan in January 2024, establishing himself as a starter in defense alongside Majis Delight under then-coach Thomas Tuchel. And that wraps up our bulletin on News Now. Many thanks for watching. I am Joy Ucheje. See you next time.
Located just 18 degrees north of the equator, Sanya is China's tropical paradise. Agricultural experts are busy creating something with world-changing potential: high-yield hybrid rice. On Madagascar, a new harvest season is about to begin. Just the right time to showcase a new player on the Madagascan agriculture stage: hybrid rice. To date, this high-yielding rice developed in China has taken root in over 20 African countries. So far, it's been a story of unparalleled success, yielding fruitful results in the most important battle of them all: the fight against hunger. In fact, the China-Africa friendship resembles these crops. Everywhere you look here, as numberless as grains of rice, there are heartwarming stories of people striving to build better lives and succeeding. Zanzibar, situated off the east coast of Africa, world famous for its extensive coastline and stunning scenery, it's a renowned vacation destination. At a Mnazi Mmoja Hospital in Zanzibar, Chinese Dr. Jiang Guoqing is overseeing the preparations for a minimally invasive surgery.
今天我们是做了一场微创手术，腹腔镜胆囊切除术。
Dr. Jiang Guoqing has performed hundreds of surgeries just like this here. But today's procedure is different. It marks the first time his student, Dr. Baya Abdullah Rashid, will be in charge of a minimally invasive surgery.
前期我们已经对他们进行了几个月的培训。今天呢，我来作为一个助手，指导他们来完成这种手术。
Baya Abdullah Rashid, 53, has been working at the hospital for nearly 30 years. He has trained with 18 Chinese medical teams and recently completed 10 months of intensive training in minimally invasive surgery. Under the guidance of his Chinese mentor, he performed his first minimally invasive cholecystectomy in 90 minutes. Baya Abdullah Rashid is also the second doctor in Zanzibar, Tanzania, to perform this surgery independently after training with Jiang Guoqing, the leader of the Chinese medical team.
So by this method of surgery, the patient will get better soon. So maybe by tomorrow the patient will go back home, and after 2 weeks the patient will go back to their normal routine work. China medical team, it has been here since I was born. So we are so happy to have a Chinese team here. It helps us, it teaches us, it trains us to be good doctors to help our people here.
About 6,000 kilometers away, on the west coast of Africa, Guinea is home to a modern hospital that represents the hope of generations of Chinese and Guinean people. This is the China-Guinea Friendship Hospital. A Chinese engineer has suffered a sudden stroke. Treatment is needed with utmost urgency. Fortunately, Dr. Ibrahima Sori Soareze is on hand to perform a cerebral digital subtraction angiography on the patient right away. Dr. Ibrahima Sori Soareze received 4 years of neurosurgery training at Huashan Hospital in China. This is the first time he's done an angiography since returning to his home country. A successful surgical procedure. Ibrahima Sori Soareze is overjoyed, and there's one person in particular he wants to share the good news with: his mentor in China. Good morning, Professor. I'm so glad today. This week I performed the first angiogram to diagnose a Chinese patient in my country. Now the patient is fine and awake.
把舌头伸一下，好，很好啊，手动一动。
And that's not the only life saved by Chinese-Guinean medical collaboration.
很好啊，你的病已经治好了啊，放心吧。
Generations of Chinese and African people have dedicated themselves to saving lives in Africa, fostering a bond that has endured for over half a century. For over 60 years, from deserts to grasslands, jungles to islands, from the sunrise over the Indian Ocean to the sea breeze of the Atlantic, more than 20,000 Chinese medical workers have journeyed to Africa. They've worked side by side with local medical professionals, saving lives, combating infectious diseases, and creating countless heartwarming stories of compassion going beyond the call of duty. China and Africa have jointly constructed 68 hospitals and 30 malaria control and prevention centers and have trained over 60,000 local medical professionals. The newly completed Africa CDC headquarters in the southern suburbs of Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, has become a landmark in the area.
Nice to meet you. I don't know if this is the appropriate venue for our meeting.
Dr. Rang Kaseya, Director General of the Africa CDC, welcomed a group of international guests.
And we believe that this building is playing a key role. We have the Public Health Emergency Operations Center, one of the largest ones in the world, where we are also providing trainings and support to all of our member states.
As a milestone project in China-Africa public health cooperation and the effort to build a global community of health for all, the modern new headquarters of the Africa CDC will significantly enhance disease diagnosis, monitoring, and epidemic response capabilities across African countries. The Africa CDC serves as a vast network binding together doctors and patients. On its shoulders rests a whole continent's hopes for good health. In short, it stands for nothing less than a milestone in the collaborative effort between China and Africa to build a global community of health for all. In the same year that the Africa CDC was completed, a modern diagnostic reagent manufacturing plant began operations in East Africa. The continent's ability to independently tackle diseases is already yielding results thanks to close collaboration with its partners.
So here is where we do secondary gowning because we are entering into production. This is important to us so that we avoid cross-contamination, the type of product that we put out.
As quality control manager, Lydia's job is to ensure that the products from the first automated diagnostic reagent manufacturing plant in sub-Saharan Africa measures up to the required standards.
So when it comes to the production of IVDs, the RDTs, the requirements are quite stringent. I had to work with one for our China partners in implementing through technology transfer.
Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, spans 240,000 square kilometers and supports a population of over 40 million. However, the Ugandan health sector faces an annual demand for diagnostic reagents of $200 million, with a shortfall of $83 million, even with various forms of support.
Uganda is going through an epidemic transition. Previously, we had a very high burden of infectious diseases, which were almost contributing to over 60% of the burden, which are really contributing the big burden of health in the country.
To tackle this challenge, the Ugandan government launched the Buy Uganda, Build Uganda initiative, aimed at promoting domestic manufacturing and boosting local consumption. It was within this context that Microheme Scientifics was established. While Lydia ensures high-quality production at MHS, Dr. Isaac Sawanyena, Director of Lab Science at Uganda National Health Laboratory Services, is set to validate the effectiveness of the diagnostic reagents produced by the factory. This is a crucial step towards the nationwide deployment of rapid antigen detection tests in Uganda.
So I'm going to quickly sample, put here. And the tests that we are already getting out of them are of good quality. And we know that this plant in Uganda will go a long way to support the countries that are surrounding. It's a big relief that we are moving towards diagnostic independence, but when we're having local production, local manufacturing, it means that we are saving and we are providing diagnostics at a cheaper cost. One is Microhim Scientific that has been manufactured in Uganda with the technology transfer from Wonfo in China.
This efficient collaboration not only saves Uganda over $100 million annually in import costs for diagnostic test kits, but also provides high-quality, affordable diagnostic reagents to the entire African continent. From collaborating on the development of Africa's healthcare sector to strengthening ties in the health industry, patients, doctors, businesses and governments are all key participants and beneficiaries in building a China-Africa health community. In the pursuit of a healthier Africa, the people of China and Africa have shown tremendous goodwill, forging deep and lasting connections. Liu Qing has lived by the Yellow River his entire life. Although his children have always wanted to bring him to the city, he still frequently returns here for a stroll.
我这光这待了30多年了。原来这是地啊，这个全是地，2公里嘛，3、4亩地就掏进去了。
Watching the place where he once lived gradually become desolate, Liu Qing faced a difficult choice: to leave or to stay. What he finds hardest to let go of are the fond memories tied to this land. Over in Rwanda, young Mushimiyimana Leonidas once faced a similar dilemma.
My mother is in agriculture, so he don't have enough means for helping us. At that time, I struggled for paying the school fees at the university, at the same time looking how I can help my brothers and sisters.
Due to the low level of local agricultural development, farming could only meet the family's basic needs. Despite these tough conditions, Leonidas managed to complete his university studies, but he couldn't find a suitable job, making his dream of improving his family's standard of living even more distant. Fortunately, the challenges faced by both the Chinese elder and the African youth were addressed by the same solution: Juncao, a hybrid grass developed by Chinese agricultural expert Professor Lin Jianxi. In 2011, Professor Lin Jianxi led a Juncao technology team to Rwanda to work on projects designed to combat soil erosion and preserve arable land. The team also introduced local farmers to the technique of cultivating mushrooms using Juncao. This method, which had previously helped many Chinese farmers escape poverty, offered new hope to Leonidas.
I go back for looking at them, so I start to learn more about the technology. I start a business for producing mushroom using Juncao.
After 10 years of hard work, Juncao has completely transformed Leonidas's life.
We have a house to live. We have transport means. We have my kids, my 4 daughters. 2 of them, they are in secondary school now. So they from the starting, they studied in the high school.
Many farmers like Leonidas have now escaped poverty and started new fulfilling lives, all thanks to Juncao. Today, Chinese Juncao technology has been introduced to several African countries. The Chinese expert group has established Juncao technology demonstration and training bases in 8 African countries, including the Central African Republic.
J'aime la technologie Juncao, vive l'amitié entre la Chine et la République centrafricaine.
Juncao can be used as a substitute for wood to grow mushrooms. It has become a happiness herb for African farmers, helping them prosper. Professor Lin Jianshi's team also achieved success with their erosion prevention project in Rwanda. Thanks to the findings they made there, they can apply the lessons learnt at home in China. Could Juncao help combat erosion along the banks of the Yellow River?
这个草菌菌草种了100到120天啊，就能够把那个流动沙漠、流动沙丘啊，完全就固定下来。而且我们那个保护岸线，保护那个黄河这个岸线，也起了非常好的作用。
The team at the Yellow River Juncao demonstration base met Li Yuqing, who was concerned about the safety of his home. They decided to give priority to sand stabilization along the riverbank near his house.
像小羊一样的，长这么高，1米多、1米2以后，你就割掉。那时候营养最高嘛，1米2到1米5，割完以后它又长，可以割3到4茬。是啊。啊，那个它是越割它。
This solution not only alleviates Li Yuqing's worries, but also ensures he no longer has to stress about winter feed for his sheep, thanks to the Juncao, which is now starting to tiller. The happiness herb spreads its fragrance far and wide. The once uncertain African youth is now envisioning a much brighter future. In Rwanda, Kabuye Hill School is celebrating graduation season, and Leonidas is busy preparing for the ceremony. In addition to being the manager of a mushroom company, Leonidas has taken on another role, the principal of Kabuye Hill School. He hopes that his efforts will help pave a path of hope for Rwanda's future.
I would like to contribute to the community where I live to change the life by increasing education.
Small-scale yet impactful livelihood projects are a crucial aspect of China-Africa cooperation. These not just about helping the land sustain its people, but also about making the dream of a better life a reality. Day by day, these initiatives are becoming an integral part of daily life and touching people's hearts. With the seeds of friendship planted, they're bound to yield a bumper harvest of happiness in the future. Nkabinda Nokwazi Priti, a South African student studying in Nanjing, loves the cultural atmosphere of the Confucius Temple. She's also captivated by the tech you see everywhere in China. For her, China's a constant source of new and exciting possibilities.
How do you buy? You can buy on this machine.
I want this one.
You want the ice cream? It's 15.
Yes, it's fine.
For Nkabinda, who is studying mechanical and electronic engineering, the robot that makes and sells ice cream is fascinating.
It's open, right? Open.
The machine is very
interesting.
Yeah.
Remember I told you we are learning the robot? So I would take it.
Nkabinda hails from the Republic of South Africa, located at the southern tip of the African continent. Known for its spirit of inclusion and acceptance, South Africa is a nation that people admire. As the second largest economy in Africa, South Africa's National Development Plan 2030 emphasizes youth skills, education and training, aiming to build a stronger economy by nurturing more talent. In 2018, the South African and Chinese governments launched a training project. South Africa's Department of Higher Education and Training commissioned 6 Chinese universities to train 100 teachers in subjects like computer science and artificial intelligence for South African middle schools. As one of the government-sponsored students from South Africa, Nkabinde will spend 18 months studying in China.
When I got this opportunity, I was very excited because China is best known as popular in technology. So.
After completing their studies, Nkabinde and her classmates will return to South Africa. Equipped with knowledge, skills, and a vision of the future, they will mentor other aspiring young people, inspiring them to build a prosperous new South Africa. Franklin Mutisia, a teacher at the Luban workshop of Machakos University in Kenya, will lead the students in an important test today.
Object and activity description. Upon swiping from
Recently, he has been guiding students in developing an application aimed at help blind people become more mobile.
several posters on the wall behind him.
We do collaborate a lot, and our students were motivated to want to assist the students who study at the School for the Blind, and they came up with the application.
To help African countries train the specialized talent needed for industrialization, several Chinese vocational schools have established training programs in Africa. Franklin Mutisia is part of the first group of teachers trained at the Luban workshop at Machakos University.
The university adopted the engineering practice innovation project initiative through the Luban workshop. And we have seen a positive impact in how our lecturers deliver content, especially engineering students are now able to tailor their projects or other research to the current industry standards.
Under initiatives such as the Belt and Road Initiative and the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, China-Africa Vocational Education Cooperation has flourished. More than 10 Luban workshops have been established, helping tens of thousands of African youths find career direction. China has set up multiple scholarship programs to support outstanding African students studying in China and has trained over 10,000 African teachers. Additionally, vocational technical schools and training centers have been jointly established. Countless African youths have found their life direction and realized their aspirations, continuing the enduring friendship between China and Africa. Every morning, Max Yolando from Côte d'Ivoire leads a group of local young students as they run through the streets of Zambia. He also has a Chinese name, Yan Ming.
小的时候，我们看那个电影，学习功夫也是一个梦想。我就跟我妈妈说了，我说我长大的时候，我必须要到中国学习功夫。我在少林寺大概有5、6年，就专门的去学功夫，还有了解中国的文化。
This year, Max is taking his students to China for a global Kung Fu event. He hopes they will not only showcase the Kung Fu they have mastered, but also gain an appreciation of the cultural significance behind it.
我说功夫不是打架的。第一个，你要努力，不管你遇到困难，别放弃。第二个，你要做的不是为了你自己，为了 你的下一代，为了你的国家。
On July 12, 2024, hundreds of competitors from 47 countries and regions around the world gathered at Songshan Mountain in Henan. For Max and his students, it's a momentous day. At long last, they've come to the birthplace of Kung Fu.
不管你是赞比亚，不管你是马里，不管你是布基纳法索，不管你是科特迪瓦，我们都是在一起。到中国，也是属于做一家一样的。
Because it's amazing. And if you look at the competition, there's so many people from all over the world. Kung Fu unites the world. I think it's great.
It's very important. Yeah, I'm glad that they opened the gates for everybody.
This is more than just a competition. It's also a gathering, a forum for people from around the world experience the inclusive Chinese culture through Kung Fu. It's a connection that resonates deeply, transcending language, race, and nationality. Beijing's Hohai Lake has been a center for cultural exchange since the Yuan dynasty. Today it remains a vibrant platform for sharing the very latest and hottest trends.
Hello?
Every Wednesday and Saturday, a djembe band performs beside Hohai Lake.
那么今天我们就来先学习曼丁非洲鼓的3个基本音：东、都、哒、低、中、高。2012年第一次接触非洲鼓，从09年开始形成就是一个鼓剧的形式，现在15年了。我每次打鼓全年50多个星期，每周2次，几乎是不间断的。马里巴亚萨，哎，马里巴亚萨。
The djembe band has become a feature of life around Hohai Lake. Passers-by are truly captivated by the way the drummers freely express themselves through their rhythmic beats.
I 觉得收获最大的就是快乐，就是内心的快乐，特别在 拍打这个鼓点的时候，能够特别激发人的内在的一种动力。
用自己的手掌和鼓接触，你就会感觉非洲鼓的那个声响和自己的身体是融在一起的。我觉得这个就太 amazing 了。
This is the essence of cultural exchange. It stems from pure appreciation, a love for all things beautiful. Friendship, which derives from close contact between the people, holds the key to sound state-to-state relations. The bond between the people of China and Africa is one based on a genuine sense of admiration. Over the years, this has evolved into a shared aspiration for a better life. It's this shared hope for health, happiness and fulfillment that has enabled the China-Africa friendship to take root in the hearts of both peoples. What's more, it's a relationship that's growing stronger and enriching more lives with every day that passes.
child pointed solely to the defendant as the last person to see her before her death on February 26, 2022.
This I see is the first phase. So,
Good day and welcome to your favorite sport program on TV, 360 Sports. I am Mudashir Shitu. So in the next few minutes, we'll be looking at an interesting topic that's been...
this was this for each month. The maximum, there's nothing bigger than being hanged. He has been given sentence to death by hanging. So this is the maximum anybody can get.
And tonight, Minikoron, with others at large, it was confirmed in the court here. So the question now is, who are those other 3 or 4 people? They should be identified, named, and brought to justice. That is our stand. So we're having a demand. It's a 3-point demand, not demand, just one demand. In this, justice has not been given. That is one. Those who were there in the bus at the time Bamisho was murdered should be identified, named, and brought to justice.
And in other stories, the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Drug Enforcement Administration have requested a 90-day extension from a district court to produce documents relating to an alleged drug investigation involving President Tinubu dating back to the 1990s. The request was submitted in a joint status report filed with the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. The case stems from a series of Freedom of Information Act requests by an American legal transparency advocate and founder of the platform Playing Side, Aaron Greenspan, who is seeking the release of records connected to a Chicago-based drug ring and has named Tinubu along with of the All Progressives Congress APC Young Nigerians in Democratic Principles, Leadership and Governance. The Deputy President of the Senate, Jibrin Barau, gave the assurance while receiving the Director General of the Institute, Lanre Adebayo, and members of his management team during a courtesy visit to the National Assembly complex in Abuja. Barau further explained his personal commitment to ensuring the success of the Progressive Institute.
Really, I commended all of you, commended National Chairman. So my recommendation goes to National Chairman, and of course, all of you, for bringing this institute into our country. And it's not going, all I know is that it's not going to be to the benefit of, it's a journey for the entire democracy in this country, not even this country, in the entire region. Thank God I'm the first deputy speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament. So I will also want to plead, I also want you to extend your tentacles beyond the confines of this country.
We are determined to enhance growth and development of the economy and the insecurity. We have the belief of our leadership that we can be able to achieve a progressive and a vibrant, will partner with you to enhance progress of this country.
An environment where party leaders can interact without competing, where they can issues concerning the party, issues of leadership, issues of reviewing what we've done in the last 2 years. Because by 2020, May 29th, we will have been 2 years in government.
remains endemic in Nigeria, limited access to clean water and sanitation. It is a highly contagious infection caused by a bacterium called the Vibrio cholerae and adequate treatment. As we approach the peak of the rainy season, a concerning trend in cholera transmission is emerging. During the presentation of the 2025 Annual Flood Outlook, the federal government issued a warning to 30 states and the Federal Capital Territory about imminent flood risks. Notably, this year's outlook introduced a community-based forecasting approach and early response efforts. According to the forecast, 1,200 communities in 176 local government areas have been identified as high flood risk zones, and 2,187 communities in 293 local government areas are classified as being at moderate risk of flooding. This proactive dissemination of localized flood risk data is expected to drive coordinated action at the federal, state, and community levels, ensuring timely interventions that can help prevent waterborne disease outbreaks like cholera. NCDC is actively tracking these occurrences. As at the epidemiological week 16, that is that week ending April 20th, 1,307 suspected cases of cholera have been reported across 30 states.
And further, committee teacher its skills urban media type prep at the CRAB Theatre Arts Department, University of Port Harcourt, has commenced the livelihood training of 100 Ogoni youths in creative arts, one of the 4 specialized skills in its sustainable livelihood program. The project coordinator of High Prep, Neni Barini Zabe, represented by the Director, Technical Services, Damian Paul Aguyi, said the program is in fulfillment of the project's promise to provide value addition and high-demand skills for Ogoni youths. He emphasized that the strategic partnership with university training.
Learn what you can. Not the people paying for it that owns it. It is you who's been trained that owns this knowledge. And it is you who can put it to use. Bring yourself on it. Listen to the distinguished lecturers who are going to teach you. They are men of experience. The same people who train some of the Nollywood people you know around. All our own Port School of Theatre Arts. So, the program includes theater, and then in class where you have June aspect, you have an indoor someone introducing the
I because for time now the miss of shop open. Leave it taking this and well it's wonderful to do.
And the team of the inconsidered herders in early states have begun as villagers and many villages, especially at Horti community in Bokos. The villagers blame Fulani herders for the attack and are demanding justice. TV360 special story.
Inspecting what's left of his home after the attacks of April 2nd.
Okay.
Mareng Arandong Makwan is the head, or they're called, of Houthi community where the attacks took place. His house is among the over 100 burnt and looted when the suspected armed headers raided the community in broad daylight. Despite it, he's lucky to be alive. Over 50 were brutally killed by the attackers.
They were 3 in 1. More for some number of vehicles, they may own their boats. The other person that just with their driver is taken. He who it gets you is escape. Until 8 something, until when security came. It was where was firing, killing houses. and some motorcycles burn, some cars burning, and money in these houses, which our people are planning for this fast coming to buy fertilizers, some of their fertilizers and whatsoever. They looted, they burn others.
One in the community was
Actually, I lost my relations, I lost my friends, I lost my children, I lost, in fact, my house, I lost livestock, I lost food, and what have you.
I lost a lot of friends, which I'm in pain, but I thank God. All the clothes, all the friends, my parents that we miss, and look at my house, it's burned. No food, but by His grace, I thank God with what our government are doing. They help us with some food and clothes. That is why you can see me like this, because I don't have any clothes to wear. But this is what my friends.
Of the dead buried grave, seen and lost, the survivor undaunted.
People are now, and I still think it is true. Let the security very well, because once you farm to take care of the farm, and it is back to maybe the first level we were before.
The immediate need I want present at the Houthi Market Square. We are followed by, we need measures right now, we roof order to roof our house. We need to go back to farm, and we don't have anywhere. Of our clothing were born off.
Plateau State has a history of deadly clashes between farmers and herders. The Houthi community had been spared until the attack of April 2nd. The villagers blamed the attack on
it is the unknown people. Lively, I have the names of our neighbors, the Fulanis, because they were talking Fulani language. And there are some of the Fulanis that they are the very people that save over even north to, and they were communicating. Don't do it, they will not. Better language. If they say do it, they will do it. But any new faces that came, the neighbors were living together.
But here we were peaceful. But looking at people are looking for an area to graze their cattle in order to live and farm and enjoy their life.
The survivors are still mourning their loss, but they vowed never to abandon their land.
Because that is the oath I will die here. Anybody that runs, if he die, they will bring his corpse here, and it is here. I feel, let my people not go anywhere. I ask the government if there is an assistance, food, security, right? If I can get this for it, somebody will inform us.
The attacks of April 2nd shattered the peace that has long existed in Houthi community. The mutual trust. Mending will definitely take a long, some say a lifetime. DG Bademasi, TV360, Houthi, Plateau State, North Central Nigeria.
And we'll go on a short break now, but still to come, AFT billions only 5 nights on a vacation right after this break. Welcome back. High Court sitting in Tafawa Balewa Square has confirmed the driver Andrew Omini Nike held that the prosecution, the Lagos State government, successfully proved beyond reasonable doubt that the defendant committed the crime. We also told you that the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Drug Enforcement Administration have requested a 90-day extension from a district court to produce documents relating to an alleged drug investigation involving President Bola Tinubu dating back to the 1990s. The request was submitted in a joint status report filed with the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. And in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. And it's now time for business news, and Okwayemi Owusheni is on standby. Okwayemi, what's the latest?
Thank you, Joy. Well, the African Development Bank has approved a new 5-year country strategy paper for Nigeria, committing about $650 million annually to drive Nigeria's economic transformation. The bank, in a statement published on its website, disclosed that the fund will not only drive economic transformation, but also build resilience and foster broad-based prosperity across the country. Under the new strategy, the bank will provide $2.95 billion over the first estimated $3.21 billion in co-financing from development partners. We'll go on a break now and be back with an update from the stock markets. Welcome back. Now, investors' interest in consumer goods and industrial stocks pushed equities value higher by 182 billion naira in the 4-day trading week ended Friday, May 2nd, 2025. Nigeria's stock market rose by 0.23% in the week under review, following 3 days of positive closes as against a day of negative close. Now, Nigerian Aviation Handling Co. led the gainers with a 10% share price appreciation, closing at 82 naira 50 kobo per share. Just followed closely by Cadbury Nigeria, which closed at 31. Overall, investors exchanged 503 million across 18,551 deals with a market value of 13 billion naira. Now, when compared with the previous NGX trading day, that's Wednesday, April 30th, today's data shows 46% improvement in volume, 9% improvement in turnover, and 6% improvement in the number of deals. Now, turning our gaze to the international market, it's a similar situation as all the stock recorded bullish trade. Now, in the foreign exchange market, the naira continues to weaken against major currencies. As of today, the US dollar is trading at 1,620 naira, the British pound at 260 naira, and the euros at 1,730 naira on the black market. And that's a wrap on today's market report. Joy, over to you now for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Okwayemi. Israel has released on front Palestine by Wonder Adjali 842. It's made in the on via the whole button. Civil official Mugabe Journal People has since dawn denied Israeli of Buresh Central. And saying success lost his challenge and offers his UK arranged Prince Charles of his claim to home after the committee for the royalty figure sided the degree security entry. During the Geoffrey had or this argument powerful and he the Duke stated illegal law for the direction. And sport, the NN host of 3 Black Webby assaultation of most NNL Uyo Stadium fan remains in bound assault intimidation match of it during which ended in a 2-2 draw. And still on sport, English centre-back Eric Dier will the season when his the club sporting has disclosed. The aspires to still in talk to cover the Club World Cup, which runs from March 14th to July 13th in the United States. He touched down in Munich on loan in January 2024, establishing himself as a starter in defense alongside Madrid's delight under then-coach Thomas Tuchel. And that wraps up our bulletin on News Now. Many thanks for watching. I am Joy Ucheje. See you next time.
Good day and welcome to your favorite sport program on TV, 360 Sports. I am Mudashiru Shitu. So in the next few minutes, we'll be looking at an interesting topic that's been one of the fastest developing sport in the country. And for those of you wondering that what's this in front of me, I mean, the cat will still leave the bag. I mean, I'll build the cat out of the bag right now because it's obvious that I cannot hide who my guest is. When it comes to archery, there's no other person in this part of the world than our national athlete and somebody who has invested time and resources for the development of archery in the country. He has done so well for himself and the country in winning medals for Nigeria. And he is the founder of Zen Archery Club. And this is the first time, you know, in a long while in the country that if you want to play football, you go to the stadium. If you want to play basketball, you go to the stadium. There's also something you can also do at the stadium. And that's where, that's talking about archery, where there's first ever archery hub in any stadium, in any facility in Nigeria. And that's talking about Zen Archery Club. It's good to welcome the man behind it, Emmanuel Yeleke, in the building.
Thank you, Mr. Mudashiru.
It's good to have you again.
It's really good to be here again,
yeah.
Actually.
My question will go this way, my friend. What has been pushing you to always promote archery? It seems that should be the question because, you know, when we Google, we find out information, everything about archery in the country as a way of linking back to you.
What's pushing me to promote archery the way I do? Yeah. I would say it's passion. I would say at some point it will be purpose also. Earlier on in my years as a teenager, as a developing adult, I found the role of sports in helping the career or the trajectory of a human. I found it very fascinating because it happened to me. I found sport early, and sports played a very vital role in my development as an adult. Even in my education, sports played a very vital role. I was in school on scholarship for 3 years in my university because I was engaged in sports. So today, I don't think I'll be who I am today without sports. And that's why it's important for me to promote sports, especially archery, the way I am doing it. So it's passion for me.
Well, at this stage that you've done so remarkably well, country, that anybody that wants to shoot or participate or practice archery goes to a stadium, and that stadium is the same Balogun Stadium, where we have the Zen Archery Club.
Yes.
What also propels you to do something extraordinary? Because it could have been off the stadium, it can be elsewhere.
Yeah, I think this particular development, I would give thanks and I won't say the glory, but I will give glory to God and also the support that we've enjoyed from the Lagos State Sports Commission. It's been massive ever since the first time we announced that we were doing the Zen Archery Lagos Open Championship last year, and we invited the Lagos State Sports Commission to witness the sports spectacle. I think they've been really fascinated by all that we've done. They've supported us, thrown their weight behind us. And it's been when we approached for a space to practice or to put an archery facility, the reception was so amazing. It was like, oh, well, you know what, let's look around. Immediately we swung to action. Check wherever it is there is space for archery. Wherever the space is suitable, please let us know. We'll give you the support. And obviously the support of the Lagos State Archery Association has been really immense also. So it was a no-brainer. Bringing archery to the stadium would bring new crop of people, new footfall, a different demographics of people to the stadium. And it's just remarkable because the stadium is a hub of activity for sports. And now it makes it easy for people to be able to access the sports. And we've seen a lot of increase, even in the inquiries we're getting. From people coming to play table tennis, coming to play volleyball, coming to play badminton at the stadium, to seeing archery, and everybody is coming to the archery range to ask us, oh, how do we join? How can we be a part of it? How can my son be a part of it? So I think it's really remarkable, the kind of collaboration we're able to have with the arm of the government. It's a public-private partnership that we're talking about now, and we're going to see it yield a lot of good results. Okay. So, yes.
Well, so also one aspect of archery that a lot of people always want to talk about, and that's talking about the young ones, the young lads, because the Southwest Games where archery participated for the first time. We're still going to talk about the Southwest Games. But how will this propel young lads to participate in archery?
Yes, I think the best thing we can do is to catch them young. We've seen the way the young lads, 11-year-old Mogbolade of Olafusi, of Zenatry, of Lagos, you can see the performance, 11-year-old beating all the other contestants just because of the training that they've been able to inculcate, the discipline, and the way they've been able to learn the skill. I think if they keep this momentum, what we're looking at is in the next 4 years, in the next 8 years, we'll have athletes that will be competing on the world stage, even that will be able to win Olympic medals for Nigeria on the world stage, at Olympics, at World Championships. That's what we're looking at. I mean, far from it where, I mean, it's important, like you said, if you're trying to get someone to play tennis to an advanced stage, they will tell you that it's important for you to start early. Any sports, whatever it is, because early enough, these kids are able to assimilate faster. They don't have so much on their mind. They're able to concentrate more if they are passionate about the game, and that's the same thing that is happening with archery now. We did a boot camp last year, and that was where we discovered Mogbolade. Yes, and the brother actually. So since then they've joined the club at Ilupeju. The mom brings them to the club. They've been doing exceptionally well, and we've seen the results also. Mogbolade, only him won 4 gold medals for Lagos State. Yes, so it's remarkable, and that's the feat we can always repeat and put up even at international tournaments if we continue to nurture the talents and bring these guys up to perfect their skills.
So now let's start also, a lot of our viewers will probably know that the Southwest Games is a game that just took place in Nigeria, and when we talk about the Southwest Games, it's about the state under the Southwest region of Nigeria, and for the first time archery was involved, and not just involved as an exhibition. It was a score point record for the first time that let's not clarify this. Has there been any national or regional event that archery has participated in and is a point scoring event?
None that I know of.
None that I know of.
Yes, in recent history, I don't think archery has ever been part of any national games, vis-a-vis youth games or National Sports Festival, and has been a point scoring game. I don't think there's been any events like that. This is the first time it will be. Yes.
Obviously, that's the fact, and the fact is that the National Sport Festival has not made archery has not participated in the National Sport Festival before. But albeit I know that it has participated at the Youth Games as an exhibition game in Ilorin.
Yes.
I saw that. That was there. So I know it exists, but not
as a medal counting.
As a medal counting. So this is the
first
first
medal
time.
Scoring. No.
And what does it mean to the organizers of Southwest Games?
I think it just lends credence to the resilience and relentlessness of also the organizers, but I will also say without the support of the Lagos State Sports Commission, we probably wouldn't have been able to achieve this feat, because when the Southwest Games was announced, archery wasn't part of it. So we had to lobby and make efforts and write letters and proposals for archery to be, and make a case for archery to be included at the Southwest Games, and without the efforts of also the Lagos State Sports Commission, especially the DG Director General Lekan Fatodu, I don't think this would also be possible, because he personally put his word behind letters and called the organizers that, oh, I want this to also be part of it, and I just don't want it to be just an exhibition game. I want it to be a medal scoring. So we put all that effort in, and we've seen the results that he yielded. It was a colorful event. It was a fantastic event, and I know that because of this, going forward, archery would no longer be relegated as an optional sport, or we've also continued conversations even after the Southwest Games as to how would have it been exhibited again, maybe at the National Sports Festival, right? And I mean, this is not in advanced stages yet, but obviously, I'm sure like there will be conversations for that to happen, and then maybe the next National Youth Games, it will be a medal scoring event at the next Youth Games. So we're making efforts for this to be possible. We're talking to the stakeholders and making sure that at least we're able to get the necessary support we need to take this game to the next level.
And I also believe the possibility of what you just said, because at the last Access Bank Lagos City Marathon, the governor of the state, Mrs. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, said that Lagos State will probably be hosting the next Youth Games.
Fantastic.
Next year.
Yes.
And obviously, archery definitely have to be a medal scoring and point.
Definitely.
So have you gotten to the stage that, yes, archery should be in the country?
No, definitely not. We are not yet there, but we're working assiduously towards getting there. I think there's so many things that are important. The skill is one thing. The buy-in of the stakeholders is one thing. Development of facilities is another thing. The necessary support from the public and private sector is also another thing. So all this, a combination of all this, is what gives rise to the success or failure of any sport. So we're working, even as a stakeholder, as we are, as a private stakeholder, we're working so much towards this in our own little way. We've put together a befitting facility at Teslim Balogun Stadium, which is one of the first steps that we can take in making sure that this dream comes to fruition. Facilities are important, and that's just a tiny slice of the dream, because the dream eventually, the dream eventually is to be able to have high performance centers dedicated to archery, for archery to be able to excel even in Lagos State and also in Nigeria as a whole. So it's a whole lot of things that we need to do, but we're taking steps towards it, towards getting there. Yes.
Well, to me, after covering and understanding archery for a very long time, it has been one milestone or the other.
Yes.
What we are seeing right now is the Zen archery.
Yes, that was last year.
That was last year.
Yes.
After then, we had
We've had a few
Southwest game.
No, we've even before then. I mean, we've had Abuja. We've had Arch Club.
In
we
Abuja.
have Shooters Club in
okay.
Abuja. We've gone outside Nigeria. We went to Cote d'Ivoire and we came second. Even with the Tizokata, we competed with other African countries. Nigeria was second at that event. We've had several other engagements. We've had the boot camp, which was organized, the youth boot camp last year, which was organized by Zen Archery. And more recently, last week, we had the Southwest Games. Yes.
And what was the next major event you should be looking for?
The next major event there will be two events. I would say the major launch of the archery facility at Teslim Balogun. That's the launch of the range and the archery arena. I won't let the cat out of the bag now, but we're going to launch the archery arena this month in April. But right after then, we've already started preparing for that. Will be the second edition of the Lagos Zen Archery Lagos Open International Tournament. Right now, last year it wasn't international. But this year we're training it open. We're inviting other participants from other African countries to come into Lagos to compete for glory.
Okay, before we concentrate our time on that one you're talking about. We'll go on this quick break, and when we come back, there'll be so much for you to know about what is coming up for archery in Nigeria.
Relax. That is my brother, and I want him out of this station now. Okay. Can I just see the IPO of this case? IPO. How are you?
No, welcome, sir.
That is my brother, and I want him out of this station now.
Do you know the offense he has committed, sir?
What do you guys want for your weekend? Okay, let me see your DPO.
This way, sir.
Oh, better. You don't know me here. That boy is my brother, and I want you to assist me to free him.
The man found the gun, confessed robbery.
Things like this happen. 200,000 naira for you.
Are you bribing me?
500,000 naira.
Robbery suspect?
1 million naira.
That is corruption. Not allowed in this division.
1 million.
Remember,
police is your friend. Giving and taking bribe is wrong.
corruption, not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Let's don't forget we have Emmanuel Yeleke here, the CEO of Zen Archery, still with us, and you can see the bow and arrow. It's bow.
Yes.
Is there an arrow here?
No,
there's not an arrow. This is just the bow. Far away from what hunters use, but that's just the beginning. Those years of.
Yes.
So now there's something happening in Lagos, and a lot of Nigerians we want to know. If you are thinking of where to practice archery or you want to take part in archery, the Telsin Balogun Stadium is the place to be.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
Zen Archery has brought that to you. But tell us about Zen Archery 2.0, I would like to call it.
Yes.
That is now an international event. Last year, I'm sure you'll be able to see some of the videos at the Telsin Balogun Stadium where it was just a national event. And there was many archery clubs came all the way from Nigeria, Ogun State, Abuja, Ekiti, the Southwest region, and some other part of the countries came there. And now what you're seeing right now is not the Telsin Balogun Stadium, not yet completed, but that's the Zen Archery Hub at the Telsin Balogun Stadium. But we're now looking forward to the Zen Archery Lagos Open International.
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
It's going to be another spectacle because last year when we ran the Zen Archery Open Championship, Lagos Open Championship, it was something that was novel. It was unprecedented. It had never happened in Nigeria. A few things that never happened. Obviously, a tournament of such scale. Such scale had not happened in archery in Nigeria. We never had the turnout. We had over 90 archers participating. That's pretty much all I've gone to some countries to do archery. That's the entire population of archers that they have in the country, in some countries. So it was remarkable that even though we ran that just 3 months into our existence as an archery club, it was that successful. It held in Telsin Balogun Stadium, but this time around we are throwing it open. We're making it international. We're inviting all our archer friends from all over. We've sent letters to different African countries, and a few of them have signified interests to come. A few of them have said, because of financial constraints, they're not able to make it, but we're still expecting well over 150 archers, almost 200 archers that we're expecting. This time around, it's going to happen at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Unicon Stadium. It's going to happen from June 18th to 21st. We gave amazing prices the last time, but this time it's going to even be more because we're hoping to get more sponsorship. We're hoping to fill up the stadium on the last day. We're hoping that, I mean, we're trying to see if we can have collaborations also with some musicians to come in, make it a fun engagement for even the participants and the spectators. On the last day, we're going to have bands playing. We're going to have halftime shows, almost like a spectacle, halftime shows, calisthenics, different thing, anything that will make it interesting. Yes, and sensational is what we're going to have. And it's going to be a lot more standard this time, because our standard last year and our standard this year, we've experienced a lot of growth from what we had last year, and it's just going to be amazing. It's going to be massive.
Let me cut you short.
Yes.
There. What caused the need to do a second edition?
What's the need to do a second edition? I think one of the major things that we can do in order to grow the sport in Nigeria is go outside so that people can see us. Is also have tournaments that even the athletes can look up to and say, oh, you know what, this is what I'm preparing towards. As I speak to you, some of the athletes have started training towards June.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and specific, measured, targeted training towards June, not just training because they love archery. So I think that's one of the effects that having regular competitions will have on the general growth of the sports. If there's nothing for you to look forward to, why should you train? Do you understand? But when there's a specific event that is prestigious that you can look forward to, we're making medals, not just medals that you buy off the market, making special, specific medals. So it's something of pride.
Signature,
Yes, for you to it's a
so
personal
we can say
achievement.
2025 is probably the year of archery.
Absolutely.
From the
that's
Southway Games to international Open Lagos International Open, to the launching of
absolutely
of the Orb and all that.
Yes, absolutely. We're looking to just blow up.
So there's not definitely no
space.
excuse, especially those that stay in Lagos, that archery is nowhere to be found.
Oh yeah. So I think one of the things is we need to really make noise about archery, because not enough people know about it. There's been, I mean, we've gone to the stadium and the reaction every time is, oh, so this game is in Nigeria. So this game is in Nigeria, and that's the reaction we've gotten from a lot of people, even where we go. I was in church last Sunday, and we did a demonstration in church, Fountain of Life Church. And everybody, even after the service, I became Brother Boo and Arrow.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if nobody, like, people don't know that it exists. So we really need to take the gospel of archery out there. We need to propagate it so that enough people know about it. And when enough people know about it, then the great game will grow. Yes.
I won't let you go without you telling us this mechanized bow. I mean, what stuff is this made of?
So this is a composite where we have aluminium we have steel, we have carbon also. So this is a type of bow which is called the compound bow. We have different categories of bows. We have the bare bow, we have the recurve bow, we have the compound bow, we have the long bow, we have the traditional bows. We have different types of bows in archery. I mean, we have the kyudo, we have...
So is that any... does it mean there's one advanced bow than the other?
Well, I wouldn't say advanced, but I would say categories. So even when you go for competitions, you have to enter the competition according to the category that you want to participate in. So that's what it is. But this is a compound bow. The mechanism of a compound bow is that it uses limbs. This is the riser, but it also has pulleys to increase the amount of force or kinetic energy generated from the limbs. So you're putting your arrow here and you're drawing it back with
what's this?
That's called a sight. A sight is something that can help you focus on a particular target, and then you'll be able to hit the target. That's what this is.
The range you're having at in Zen, what range is that?
It's a, I would say it's a maximum 38-meter range.
Okay.
You can get 40 meters out of it,
Okay.
but I think it's still a very good starting point for anybody that wants to learn. We shoot about 70 meters at competitions, but the good thing about it is because we are right there in the stadium, whenever we need to train for 70 meters, we enter the main bowl. We set up there and we shoot 70 meters. Whenever we're training just for the club activities, we are within the range. So it's such a win-win situation for us. And I would mention something because we've since we've moved to the stadium, there's been an increased inquiry. I mean, there's been an increased awareness, and we find all sorts of people coming in and asking how can they learn. And because of this, we realize that there's some underserved communities where, because of the kind of game that archery is, we might not be able to essentially afford the equipment, afford the training. So we're creating another category. I wouldn't say category, we are creating an initiative of Zen archery, which would cater to having an academy or having a foundation that will pick up, that would receive entries for underserved children from underserved communities, definitely less than 18 years old, and would have cohorts for them where we can train specific talents, and then they can graduate out of that to become team members of Team Lagos, team members, team members of the national team, and can go on to do great things in life. So that's part of the plans going forward.
That plan will also be talked about, reported about on the launching of the
absolutely at the launch. We'll talk about
it's always good having you on the show.
Same here. Thanks for all this.
Emmanuel Eleke has been doing so well for archery. I don't want to bore you with issues of administrations going on at the federation level, because I know what you do most of the time is just the promotion.
Yes,
of,
absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you for
thank you so much. Thank you. It's always a pleasure being here.
It's always a pleasure to have you here too. Yes. Thank you very much. We've been talking with Emmanuel Oyeleke. He is the founder of Zen Archery Club and the first person ever to create an hub for archery in any stadium in the country. Before, we had the Zen Archery Club at the Tosin Balogun Stadium in Lagos. If you go to look for archery anywhere, you won't find it anywhere in the stadium. But with his initiative and the support of Mr. Lekan Fatode and also the Lake Chairman, who is the Chairman of Lagos State Sports Commission, the Sport Commission itself, the entire Lagos State government for giving that initiative. So if you want to practice archery, you just have to go to the Tosin Balogun Stadium in Lagos. And we're just looking forward to the launching of that hub. I'm sure you've seen some of the videos as you listen to us also. And let's not forget, we are having the second edition of the Zen Archery Lagos Open International, where we're having neighboring states and other states have committed to coming. That will take place also, like the name indicates, in Lagos State at the Unicon Stadium come June. More of this and many more, we'll be letting you to know when the time gets closer. And this is how we're going to spend the rest of the day. Thank you for being part of today's program. And if you want to join us on all our social media platforms, you can join us on our Facebook account, X account, and not forgetting an Instagram and other accounts we have to relate back to you what we discussed today. I'm Mudashishitu. Bye for now.
what we're having here today, the theme of the exhibition is wet in waste. That is, what are the wet you can get from waste product, that is coconut shell. So, and the reason why we are saying wet in waste is that we have so many processors around. We have people that use coconut for their products, like coconut oil, coconut candy, coconut flakes. The name has so many. But what do they do to the shell? Nothing. So if you eat coconut, the shells, you throw it off. But some of them, they use it for making fire, fueling their fire while cooking. But that can cause environment.
On the news, court sentences BRT driver Omini Koron to death by hanging for killing fashion designer Bamishe. United States FBI and DEA failed to release dossier on Tinubu, seek 90-day extension. And NCDC warns of cholera surge, gives updates on other outbreaks. It's a pleasure to have you join News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Joy Ucheje. Now, after 3 long years, the High Court sitting in the Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos have convicted and sentenced to death a bus rapid transit BRT driver, Andrew Omini Koron, for the murder of a 22-year-old fashion designer, Bamishe Ayanwola. In a judgment that lasted over 2.5 hours, Justice Serifat Shonaike held that the prosecution, the Lagos State government, successfully proved beyond reasonable doubt that the defendants committed the offense. Although there was no eyewitness account of the incident, the court relied on a series of circumstantial evidence, the evidence of the pathologist and the dying declaration of the victim, all of which the judge held pointed solely to the defendant as the last person to see her before her death on February 26, 2022.
This I see is the first phase. So, because he didn't do this thing alone, all right? So, from the admissible voice notes Bamishe dropped, were made to know that there are other people in the vehicle. All right, there are other people in the vehicle. So if this is all Nigeria police can give us, they cannot bring the phone she was using to do the conversation. Because when this guy was tracked, he was actually tracked. We were tracking the phone of Bamishe and himself. And they were in the same location. All right, so when you got this guy, definitely Bamishe's phone was with him. All right, so what happened? What about these other accomplices? All right, so for the judgment given on him, it is a maximum. Okay, so it is a maximum. There is nothing bigger than being hanged. He has been given sentence to death by hanging. So this is the maximum anybody can get.
Andrew Nice Omini Koron with others at large. It was confirmed in the court here. So the question now is, who are those other 3 or 4 people? They should be identified, named, and brought to justice. That is our stand. So we're having a demand. It's a 3-point demand, not demands, just one demand. In the civil society, that was one demand. If 2 are met, 1 is not met, justice has not been given. That is one. Those who were there in the bus, as at the time Bamishe was murdered, should be identified, named, and brought to justice.
And in other stories, the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Drug Enforcement Administration have requested a 90-day extension from a district court to produce documents relating to an alleged drug investigation involving President Bola Tinubu dating back to the 1990s. The request was submitted in a joint status report filed with the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. The case stemmed from a series of Freedom of Information Act requests by an American legal transparency advocate and founder of the platform Plainsight, Aaron Greenspan, who is seeking the release of records connected to a Chicago-based drug ring and has named Tinubu along with 3 other individuals. And the National Assembly has pledged its full support for the Progressive Institute, an initiative of the All Progressives Congress APC dedicated to training young Nigerians in democratic principles, leadership and governance. The Deputy President of the Senate, Jibrin Barau, gave the assurance while receiving the Director General of the Institute, Lanre Adebayo, and members